Well, my dad was angry because he couldn't believe it. He probably wanted a girl that was perfect and normal.
What's your definition of depression?
When you have a lack of motivation in life, you're really struggling, and sometimes you might not know where your happiness is.
The whole entire world will be surprised on how depressed and anxious our teens are.
It manifests in a lot of different ways. You could have trouble getting out of bed. You could have a lot of things going for you, but you just don't feel the motivation. You kind of feel lonely and lost and out of it.
I would start to feel like the pressure building within my chest.
4 walls that just enclose you.
Just shaking.
Someone was just twisting it and twisting it and twisting it.
And then you're cold.
Continue to overthink,
You're actually sweating.
overanalyze.
And every time you try to get out, they get smaller and smaller.
I knew I was basically causing this myself.
And then you feel like fainting.
You constantly had to wear a paper bag that portrayed a smile for everyone to believe you were happy.
When it comes to my parents, I guess a lot of times that natural fear of judgment peeks out. This is the moment where I'm scared of having someone that I love and trust judge me for something that I can't help.
My mom, she found out by herself actually. She knew I was depressed because I wouldn't get out of bed.
They asked me what was wrong, and I would just tell them I'm fine because I know I can't talk to my parents about this.
I didn't know how they would react. My dad's somewhat traditional, so I was afraid to show him that I guess I had a weak side.
I've been working in this area for about 6 years now. Some challenges to this community could be a cultural component.
I think the fact that my parents were born in Mexico, that makes them kind of not understand depression because they were brought up to be more focused on just getting food on their plates and just getting through the day. And I guess depression is seen as more of an American issue, and that's why it's more widespread in our Hispanic community.
So teens today, I think, are expected to act like adults in a lot of ways. Some of them are working jobs to help provide for their families. Some of them are taking care of their brothers and sisters. Some of them are even parents. And then on the other hand, they're still minors. I think there's this pressure to be both.
I have to get up in the morning, get dressed, and then make sure to take my nephew to school. Apart from taking care of kids, I have to help my mom clean the house, make food, take care of the home. Well, my dad recently has gotten a kidney transplant, so I have to be the one administering most of his insulin shots. And it's just really hard juggling between being a teen and being an adult with all of these responsibilities.
When my little brother saw me having an anxiety attack, he reacted scared. My parents weren't there. I was babysitting my little brother. I'm like, just leave it alone. It's okay. Trying to be like a mature person and not scare him with it because I don't want him to trigger him knowing probably I'm crazy or something.
My parents, they don't care because what they don't realize is the workload that they give me, apart from the workload I get at school, that I just can't do this. It all piles up on me to the point where I just get super stressed out that I started bleeding a couple times from my nose, got really lightheaded. That was the first time my parents ever realized that I had a problem with anxiety.
Recently, I had a panic attack. This one was different because my uncle was there to witness it. He didn't see it as a panic attack. He saw it more as if I was just being like sad and crying. But in reality, it was really hurting on the inside. He just thought that I would man up and be happy again, but that's not how it works.
The Hispanic culture, parents tend to not listen to their high school students because they don't know of all that anxiety, of all that fear they have within themselves because they're scared and trying to figure out who they are. And then once a person who is semi-educated, they could say, okay, this is what's going on. That's when they start realizing, okay, maybe my child is going through something.
I felt like I would be a disappointment, basically, if I said that I needed the help.
A lot of Latino families want to keep their issues in private. They don't want to be sharing them with outside agencies or anyone else, and they want their students or their children to keep things to themselves. They don't want things to be shared as much because they're very strong family connections.
Some students and some youth believe that their parents would react in a way like, oh, it's no big deal. Shrug it off. You're feeling sad today. Tomorrow it'll change.
My dad, he was compassionate about it, but he was more so along the line of, you're overthinking things. You just have to stop it.
Parents are working a lot. Parents have financial stress. They have a lot of other things on their plate, so they may not be able to be at home to provide the sort of the environment to notice when things are going on with teenagers and maybe some of those early warning signs.
They're out a lot since they work day and night. It was easy for me to hide them, and if they were home, I would just stay in my room, and if I was having a panic attack, make sure I was quiet about it.
What'd you say? Over the security.
What'd you say?
What you say?
I have a picture of me with a goat.
That was the son. That was somebody else.
I think there's also this pressure to sort of measure up to everyone. I think social media in particular has given all of us such pressure to be this perfect person, whether that's to have the perfect profile picture or to just make ourselves look squared away to everyone that we have sort of contact with.
A lot of times you're looking at social media and you're seeing all your friends being happy, living all these experiences and being joyful about it, when you're at home and you probably don't have the same life and you might be feeling sad or you're not living the same types of positive experiences. Even myself personally, sometimes I feel anxious when I'm not checking my phone and I wonder, what am I missing?
With the Facebook, the Instagram, Snapchats, the media has really impacted, I think, anxiety specifically.
Nowadays, most kids have a cell phone or at least an electronic device. They also as well have Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Tumblr. I personally have became somewhat anxious. All the statuses people make, it becomes overwhelming.
Now social media makes it impossible for us to escape things that we would normally just be able to escape by just going home and locking ourselves in our room.
In today's society, I think social media and this idea of instantaneous knowledge really affects our youth in terms of depression and anxiety. Just because they are so exposed to news every second that they have processing overload.
I think kids are checking to see what everybody's doing, whereas when I first started, I think that there was, oh, my friend, one group's doing this, one group's doing that, but there wasn't the availability to check on what they were doing. Your life is basically online.
It's not proper, but it's also not a good way for you to express your emotions.
I can't run away. I go home thinking this is the end of my problems, but then I look at my phone on Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat, and they're always there just constantly harassing me. No matter where you are, you will always have it. It will always be in your face, and you will never be able to escape it. Social media is everywhere.
Our youth in Berwyn and Cicero, they have a lot of expectations to maintain. Their first expectation is to graduate and to achieve academically because a lot of our parents have not had that opportunity.
I know that my parents don't really believe in higher education, but I want to give them hope, so that's one of the main reasons that I try so hard.
Getting to high school, realizing that there was this immense fear of failure definitely would lead to a lot of late nights.
I think the culture I was brought up to be makes it a lot more difficult for me. My parents want me to find a job, but it's hard for me to manage having a job and also being in school and doing my homework on time.
I want to be a full-time student, but at home there's too many responsibilities for me to take care of that I just can't keep up with the workload.
They don't have a lot of drive to do well in school because their life is so focused on the negative things that are going on in their life that it's just not as important.
I started to prioritize my academics, and I guess it's really stressful for me because I don't really have that much parental support. So whenever I wanted to do some type of internship or some type of program, I always had to do it by myself, and I never really had my parents to be like checking my report cards. They've never looked at my report cards. They just kind of assume that I'm doing well because I talk to them a lot about how it's so important to me. I really want to go to like a competitive college, and so I always had to be making sure that I'm keeping up with my rank and keeping up with my grades and keeping up with AP tests and AP classes in general, and it just makes me stressed out.
The first thing I say when a student reaches out for help is thank you for coming to me, and I really admire your courage in taking the step and letting me know how you've been feeling.
All I know is I'm gonna get through it. It's gonna happen, it just takes time. The only one who could really help myself is me by trying.
Take hope. Go seek out individuals who you trust, and that there are people that care about you and want to make sure that you are able to seek treatment and get help.
Stop and listen. Listen to the stories of the kids.
My message to teenagers that are experiencing any type of depressive or anxiety symptoms is to talk to someone, let someone know. The more we keep it in, the more it builds up and the worse it gets and the more it's going to affect us. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're less of a person or you're weak or anything like that. It means that you're going through a difficult time.
You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not the only person going through with this. No one's life is perfect, and that's okay. What's not okay is not taking care of yourself.